In the annals of ancient warfare, few battles have had such lasting significance as the Battle of Marathon, fought in 490 BCE on the coastal plain northeast of Athens. This historic clash between a small coalition of Greek city-states and the mighty Persian Empire not only halted an imperial invasion, but also laid the groundwork for the rise of classical Greece and its ideals. From daring military strategies to legendary heroism, Marathon remains a shining moment in Western history, an event where the impossible became reality. The road to Marathon. The seeds of conflict were sown long before the two armies met on the battlefield. At the heart of the confrontation was the Persian Empire, then the most powerful force on earth, ruled by King Darius I. Eager to expand his dominion westward, and seeking retribution against Athens for their support of the Ionian Revolt, a failed uprising of Greek colonies under Persian control, Darius launched an ambitious campaign to subdue the rebellious Greek city-states. With a massive fleet and a formidable army estimated to be between 20,000 and 25,000 strong, the Persians set sail across the Aegean Sea, aiming directly at the heart of Greece. Their chosen landing site was the Bay of Marathon, a relatively flat plain about 40 kilometers northeast of Athens. Strategically placed, it offered both room for maneuvering and a quick route to the city. Athens, aware of the impending invasion, rallied its forces under the leadership of General Miltiades. A seasoned warrior and strategist, Miltiades quickly mobilized the Athenian hoplite army, composed mainly of citizen soldiers, ordinary men defending their homeland. Reinforcements came from the nearby city-state of Plataea, demonstrating the growing sense of pan-Hellenic unity. The march to battle. The Persian plan was straightforward: land swiftly, overwhelm Athens, and install a puppet regime. However, they did not anticipate the swift and determined Athenian response. As soon as the Persian forces disembarked at Marathon, the Athenians marched out to confront them. Though heavily outnumbered, the Greek force was far from inexperienced, and their morale was high. Unlike their adversaries, they were fighting for their homes, families, and freedom. The Athenians encamped in the hills overlooking the plains, studying the terrain and the Persian formations. Meanwhile, Persian commanders waited, likely expecting the Greeks to fall back or surrender. What they encountered instead was one of the most daring and unconventional moves in ancient warfare. Clash of armies. Details about the battle are pieced together primarily from ancient historian Herodotus, whose accounts, while sometimes romanticized, remain the most complete sources of information. According to Herodotus, the Athenians eventually moved down onto the plain to confront the Persians directly. Miltiades, realizing the danger of being outflanked, reportedly deployed his troops in a unique formation. The center of the Greek line was thinner, about 4 ranks deep, while the flanks were reinforced to double that depth. This possibly unintentional tactic would prove decisive. As the two sides approached, Miltiades is said to have given the simple order, "At them." The Greek line surged forward. Though popular legend suggests the hoplites sprinted the full 1,500 meters to the enemy line in near superhuman feat in heavy armor, it is more likely they advanced at a brisk pace, breaking into a run only once within arrow range, approximately 200 meters from the Persian archers. The sight of a relatively small, heavily armored force charging toward them shocked the Persians. Accustomed to facing disorganized tribal uprisings or archery-based warfare, the disciplined Greek phalanx presented a new kind of threat: impenetrable, compact, and relentless. Turning the tide. The clash was brutal and chaotic. Persian archers loosed volleys of arrows, but the bronze armor and large round shields of the hoplites largely neutralized their effect. When the lines met, it was the longer Greek spears combined with the tight-knit phalanx formation that gained the upper hand. In the center, the Persians initially managed to push through, causing significant damage. But on the wings, the Greek forces under Miltiades and the Plataean allies decisively repelled the enemy, then wheeled inward to encircle the Persian center. Whether this maneuver was pre-planned or improvisation born of battlefield necessity remains debated by historians. Regardless, the result was devastating for the invaders. Panic spread among the Persians. Many fled back toward their ships, hoping to escape by sea. In their desperate retreat, some reportedly drowned in the nearby swamps, unfamiliar with the treacherous terrain. Among the many dramatic episodes of the day, one stands out. Cynaegirus, brother of the famed playwright Aeschylus, attempted to prevent a Persian trireme from launching by grabbing hold of it. A Persian sailor struck off his hand, and he died as a martyr, symbolizing the desperate valor of the Athenian defenders. Aftermath, victory, and legacy. When the dust settled, the scale of the Greek triumph became clear. Herodotus records that the Persians lost around 6,400 men, while Athenian casualties numbered just 192, with 11 more from Plataea. Among the dead were prominent figures like the war archon Callimachus and the general Stesilos, whose sacrifices were later honored by their city. 7 Persian ships were captured, and the remaining fleet retreated across the Aegean. The Persian plan to overrun Athens had been stopped cold. Yet the battle's impact went beyond the battlefield. Marathon demonstrated for the first time that the Persian war machine could be defeated in open combat. It shattered the myth of Persian invincibility and galvanized Greek resistance in the decades to come. A new era of military thought. Militarily, Marathon introduced or reinforced several important ideas in Greek and Western warfare. Most notably, it showcased the effectiveness of the hoplite phalanx, a tightly packed infantry formation utilizing long spears, shields, and heavy armor. Though rudimentary by later standards, it proved devastating when deployed with discipline and courage. The Greeks' ability to hold formation under a hail of missiles and then counterattack effectively laid the foundation for future military innovation. Generals such as Epaminondas and later Alexander the Great would refine and evolve these principles, ultimately spreading them across the known world. While earlier battles had seen brute force or numerical superiority win the day, Marathon was one of the earliest recorded victories earned through tactical deployment, discipline, and strategic timing. The spirit of the citizen soldier. One of the most remarkable aspects of Marathon was that the Athenian army was not made up of professional warriors, but rather everyday citizens, farmers, artisans, and merchants who took up arms when called. Their victory wasn't just military, it was ideological. Historian J.F. Lazenby put it best when he said that the battle was won because ordinary people had the bravery to charge forward when arrows rained down, to hold their nerve when chaos reigned, and to aid their comrades rather than flee when the tide seemed uncertain. This spirit of collective courage would resonate for centuries and inspire the notion that a free people fighting to defend their homeland could defeat even the most powerful empires. Democracy's defining moment. The effects of the battle rippled through Athenian society. The morale boost and civic pride it fostered helped fuel the development of Athenian democracy. Marathon was proof that citizens could not only govern themselves but also defend their freedom with honor and distinction. The story of Pheidippides, the legendary runner who supposedly sprinted from the battlefields of Athens to announce the victory before collapsing and dying, is likely apocryphal. Nevertheless, it has inspired the modern marathon race, immortalizing the name of the battle in global culture. This moment of triumph strengthened Athenian political unity and ushered in an era of increased civic participation and public investment in the military. The success of this amateur army of citizens reinforced the democratic ideals that would shape Athens during its golden age. Marathon's enduring influence. The Battle of Marathon is more than a historical event, it is a symbol of defiance against tyranny, of strategy over sheer force, and of ordinary people rising to do the extraordinary. It marked the beginning of the end for Persian ambitions in mainland Greece and set the stage for the even greater victories at Salamis and Plataea in the following decades. But perhaps most importantly, Marathon gave the Greek world, and by extension, the Western world, a mythic ideal of civic virtue, unity, and valor. The echoes of that day can still be heard every time a democracy stands firm, every time a citizen army takes up arms, and every time an individual faces overwhelming odds and chooses to fight anyway. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Battle of Marathon, make sure to hit that like, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, history is not just the past, it's the story that shaped us all. See you in the next video.